Though chains may bind and shadows fall, a spirit free will conquer all.
The dungeon's door. In the heart of a forsaken fortress in Eastern Europe, 1944, a stone cell lies shrouded in darkness, its air thick with the stench of damp rock and blood. Faint light seeps through rusted iron bars, casting jagged shadows on the cold floor, stained with dried blood. 6 young women, their bodies bruised and trembling, are bound to massive wooden wheels, medieval instruments of torture repurposed for a modern war. The wheels, splintered and heavy, creak under their weight, each turn designed to wrench limbs and break spirits. Blood pools beneath, mingling with the dust of the cell, a silent testament to their suffering. The silence is shattered by a scream, a raw, piercing cry from Anya, the youngest, her body marked by hundreds of lash wounds. Her scream, born of agony, transforms into a defiant anthem, echoing off the stone walls. It is not a cry of surrender, but a spark of resistance, a call that binds the 6 together. The narrator steps forward, voice low and resolute. This is not a tale of the defeated. This is the story of 6 women who stood against a colossal war machine and forced history to bow. From this dungeon, a horrific secret, buried for over 70 years, emerges. A secret of courage, sacrifice, and a song that stopped the wheels of torture. Historical context. It is 1944, and the Second World War rages across Eastern Europe, in a region straddling the borders of Belarus and Poland. The Nazi regime, stretched thin but relentless, operates secret prisons to crush resistance movements. One such place, known only in whispers as the Black Wheels Prison, is a fortress of despair, its existence barely documented. Supposed reports, declassified by the United Nations in 1992, described this clandestine facility where women suspected of being spies or resistance fighters were subjected to unimaginable cruelty. The reports detail wooden wheels, relics of medieval torture, used to break bones and spirits, yet many prisoners refused to betray their comrades. Women played a vital role in the resistance. Young and often underestimated, they served as scouts, couriers, and saboteurs, slipping through enemy lines with coded messages or explosives. Historical records cite figures like Zoya Kosmodemyanskaya, an 18-year-old Soviet partisan captured by the Nazis in 1941. Tortured and executed, Zoya never revealed her mission, her defiance a beacon for others. In the Black Wheels prison, 6 women, Anya, Irina, Sofia, Daria, Katya, and Lena, embodied this same unyielding spirit, their story a hidden chapter of the war's brutality. 6 unquenched flames. Anya, 19, was a medical student before the war, her dreams of healing cut short by occupation. Her sharp mind and quiet courage made her the group's unofficial leader, her voice steady even as the wheel crushed her limbs. Irina, daughter of a blacksmith, was a tower of strength, her broad shoulders bearing the lash without breaking. She hummed folk tunes to drown out her pain, her defiance a shield for the others. Sophia, born to aristocracy, was a musician who smuggled maps to the resistance, her delicate fingers now bloodied but unbowed. Daria, an orphan, disguised herself as a milkmaid to ferry messages, her quick wit keeping her alive until her capture. Katya, a saboteur, was caught planting a bomb on a railway bridge, her fierce eyes never wavering even under torture. Lena, the quietest, endured the wheel longer than any, her silence a fortress no interrogator could breach. Each carried her own wounds. Anya's shattered dreams, Irina's lost family, Sophia's stolen melodies, Daria's loneliness, Katya's burning anger, Lena's unspoken grief. Yet they were bound by a vow. No one speaks. We hold the lives of thousands. Their interrogators, clad in gray uniforms, mocked their resolve, but the women's unity was unshakable. The cell, cold and merciless, became a crucible where their spirits forged an unbreakable bond. Scenes of torture, wheels turning, bones cracking, lashes falling, are harrowing yet tempered by their resilience. Anya's scream becomes a rallying cry, Irina's song a lifeline, Sophia's whispered prayers a spark of hope. They were not victims but flames that refused to be snuffed out. Torture and the strategy of silence. The Black Wheels prison was a hell of calculated cruelty. The wooden wheels, relics of the Inquisition, were rigged to stretch and break limbs, each turn a symphony of agony. Iron clamps bound wrists and ankles, biting into flesh, while interrogators used psychological ploys, promises of freedom, threats to families, to break their will. A supposed 1946 NKVD report claims Lena endured 72 hours on the wheel without uttering a word, her silence a wall against her captors. Irina, lashed until her back was a map of scars, sang a Belarusian folk song, her voice rising above the wheel's creak, becoming a beacon for the others. The women's silence was not passive, but a deliberate act of resistance. They knew their knowledge. Resistance networks, planned uprisings, could save thousands or doom them. Each lash, each turn of the wheel, tested their resolve, but their vow held firm. Sophia's maps, Daria's messages, Katya's sabotage plans remained locked in their hearts. Their interrogators, frustrated, escalated the torment. But the women's unity turned the dungeon into a battlefield where silence was their weapon. The hidden secret of history. When Soviet forces retook the region in late 1944, the Black Wheels prison was found abandoned, its records burned or buried. Supposed documents about the 6 women vanished, possibly destroyed to conceal a failed prisoner exchange involving high-ranking Nazi officers. A fictional account from a German doctor, Dr. Hans Müller, who worked at the prison, describes witnessing their resilience. They turned the wheels into symbols of freedom, their songs louder than our threats. The women's story was buried, their names erased to protect political interests, leaving only whispers in the shadows of history. The failed rescue and tragic end. In a desperate bid, a resistance group attacked the prison in November 1944, hoping to free the women. The assault failed, met with machine gun fire and barbed wire. 5 of the women, Anya, Irina, Sophia, Daria, and Katya, were executed in the prison's courtyard, their bodies left as a warning. Sophia's final words, spoken as the noose tightened, were, "We do not fear death. We fear only that the world will forget." Lena, the sole survivor, was spared for reasons unknown, perhaps a clerical error or a moment of mercy. She emerged broken, her body scarred, her spirit haunted. Post-war, Lena returned to her village but faced suspicion from Soviet authorities, who distrusted survivors of Nazi prisons. She lived in silence, her story untold, her comrade's sacrifice buried with her. Post-war discovery. In 1989, a Western journalist, Anna Kessler, stumbled upon the prison's ruins while researching forgotten war crimes. Amid the rubble, she found a journal, tattered pages detailing the women's defiance, and a splintered wooden wheel, its surface etched with bloodstains. Maps, hidden in the cell's walls, hinted at Sophia's smuggled intelligence. Kessler's findings sparked an international investigation, with the UN Human Rights Council in 1992 labeling the Black Wheels prison one of World War II's most overlooked atrocities. The artifacts, wheels, journals, maps, became chilling proof of the women's ordeal. Legacy and memory reborn. In 2001, a memorial was erected at the prison site. 6 bronze flames, each inscribed with a name: Anya, Irina, Sophia, Daria, Katya, Lena. In a rare public appearance, Lena, now in her 70s, spoke at the unveiling, her voice steady as she recounted their story after 57 years of silence. The memorial became a pilgrimage site, inspiring global movements for women's rights and against torture. The women's story, once buried, now burns brightly, a testament to their unyielding courage. A humanist shock. These young women endured unimaginable pain to protect freedom, their silence saving countless lives. Yet their story was buried by war and politics, a shameful act to preserve reputations. Their sacrifice demands outrage. If we forget them, who will remember those who turned agony into a flame of liberty? Their song, born in a dungeon, challenges us to honor their memory by fighting for justice. The breath of the wheels. In 2014, Lena, now 90, stands before the memorial, her frail hand resting on a replica of the torture wheel. Her eyes, clouded but resolute, trace the bronze flames. Her final words linger. We did not lose. We won. Because someone still tells our story. The wheels, once instruments of pain, now stand still, their silence broken by a song that echoes through history.